Welcome back, everyone, and once again, just my weekly Parra chat. Review round two, and then have a bit of a look forward into round three, and just have a bit of chat about the team and where things are at. But first of all, just a big shout out. Obviously, first of all, the Channel League of Inches for all the fans and all the engagement over the last week. Once again, it's been right up there. Really appreciate the support. If you haven't already, just make sure you give us a like on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube as well. It all helps and goes a long way to achieving the goal for the channel moving forward. So, second of all, the shout out just to our sponsor, the Bill Doctor. And if you have any issues at all in regards to your utility bills, and they look after both residential and business customers, any questions you might have, please go give them a like on Facebook as well, at the Bill Doctor, and ask them a question. Very, very good at what they do, and an expert in all things. He doesn't come with an agenda. He'll tell you exactly what's the best option for your accounts moving forward. Really good chat, and has really helped me save some money moving forward as well. But let's get into it. What a weekend of footy, and for our team especially. Obviously Thursday night seems a while ago, but the feeling after that win, I tell you what, it hasn't been like that around Parramatta for a while, and we really put in a performance to be proud of. Not just for the fans, members, but the players themselves can sit back and really be proud of what they've done. And a lot of question marks in the lead up to this game again about Parramatta and what we can do in regards to against the bigger, better teams. And we showed exactly what we can do in really hard conditions to play footy. We really stuck to it, and I want to give a bit of a shout out first of all to Brad Arthur. I think it was a coach, one of his best coaching performances to date for the team, and he lost Wanga Blake in the lead up, which look, whether you're a fan of Wanga Blake or not, it is a big loss in the run into a game. But the easy option would have been to have Hayes Dunster come in and probably push Fergo into the centre position, or even Dunster for that matter, not really mix up too much and have a back there. But he went with Niokora, and honestly, a massive hats off to Niokora. What a performance. Him and Olam went at it all night, and two of the better players on the field, and he was massive. He really suited this centre role, more so in his defence. I thought his defence was really, really good. And his attack, he held the ball right, passed it when it was right. He just seemed to really, really switched on in that position. And look, I know it's not his position moving forward, but while we do have an injury there, I'm more than comfortable with Murata Niokora being there and filling that void that we need. So, massive credit to Brad Arthur. I don't think he gets the credit he does deserve. He's brought this club up. There's pressure on him this year to produce in the bigger games, and the first big game of the year he's produced. So, look, I know a lot of people aren't a fan of Brad Arthur, but you've got to sit there and go, you know what? I've got to give this man some credit. It's the first test after what's been said in the off-season about him, and he's come up trumps against probably arguably the form team of the last decade, and our bogey team. Now, look, I called out Sean Lane last week. I said that he does need to improve, and I thought he was pretty average in the first week. This week, massive. Exactly how he needs to play, and that's in terms of not trying to look at attacking and passing the ball every run. Just run it hard. He's a big body. He's really tall and lanky. If he can just run hard, he'll get through the line, and they'll have him around the legs, and the offload will be there naturally. So keep playing like that, Lane. Exactly the way you play your best footy. Thinking run first, pass, offload second. So massive credit for Lane. I thought he really stepped up when it mattered. Look, before I give my final shout-outs for this game, I've got the only player I can sort of question, I think everyone played really well. And look, Dill Brown for mine did play well. He's defensively really good. For mine in attack, I think I'm feeling like he's lacking a little bit of confidence in terms of his attack. There was a few times in that game where he was really hesitant about taking off and things like that. I'm not sure if he's carrying some kind of leg injury, but for mine, he just sort of doesn't have the confidence to take a line. And for mine, I've seen Dill Brown play for a while now, and he's right up there in terms of of Ponga's footwork and things like that. He can really take a line on and beat players. And I really just like to see him 100% commit to the line and really show what he can do, because he's a freak of a player. There's no doubting that. As I said, defensively he was fantastic. I know he made upwards of about 40 tackles, and fatigue would have set in towards the end of the game. It was more the start of the game where he just wasn't taking the line on as much, and it looked sort of half-hearted efforts in terms of he wasn't really too sure what to do. And I think it's just a confidence thing. So hopefully we see him back to his best this weekend on a drier track. Look, my last shout-outs, before I talk about one final issue of this game, would be, obviously, Junior Paulo was massive. He's just going from strength to strength, and I posted on the page last week that Joey rates him as the best prop in the game. Sterlo's come out since and agreed. I'm very close to basically putting him in that same echelon and say he's the best prop in the game currently, more so in regards to just his footwork. He has so much ability and skill that other props don't have. It's insane. And how people sit there and quickly dismiss it so much that he isn't the best prop in the game, I think he's right up there. And it's very close between him and probably Josh Papali, who has the runs on the board. And you got the Newcastle pair that are pretty close there behind. And Regan Campbell-Gillard does his stuff. So, Junior, keep up the good work, brother. Papali, I had a big rap about him last video. I don't want to say too much more. I don't want to take too much of the video's time, but he again was massive. Off the bench, you can't underestimate how much or how important it is for a player to come on off the bench and really provide that continued go forward, which we've probably missed in the last year or so. I think that's been a bit underrated. Papali'i it doesn't. Junior goes off, Papali'i goes on, and nothing's changed. And I know last week he had to go back over to the edge. He can play both the middle and the edge role, which makes him so good. And I'm glad to see, and I'll talk about it soon, he's been promoted to the starting side this week, and a really, really good performances so far. The King, the Gutho, honestly, what more can you say about this bloke? He is the king of Parramatta at the moment, and 3 try savers. Absolutely fantastic. And for mine, a well-deserved man of the match. I think he got man of the match for the playing group after that. And to come out 3, it was dead. All 3 were dead set tries if it wasn't for him, and we would be down by 3 tries and probably an old Storm scoreline beckons. But he was massive and he was everywhere. Body on the line, and he was just sensational. So well done, Gutho. And the last one's just Reid Mahoney. Once again, brilliant tackling machine, and his service in conditions was pretty good. So great work, boys. As I said, most of the team really played well. It was hard to point out individuals, as I think it was a team effort, really. Everyone from 1 to 17 played well. So the last thing I want to talk about, and this is from a Parra perspective, I have spoken about this matter already, but I can now wear my blue and gold hat and just say the head knocks situation on Manoa and the Storm player Felice Kafusi who did it. For mine, it's a dog shot. For mine, it was on purpose. You can see it clearly. He gets his elbow into a position and then goes down. I've seen that many tackles over the years, and we all have, where people have gone up, and there's never been a tackle where a player has come up for whatever reason, got his arm out and gone down. So for mine, it was intentional. For mine, the NRL is very weak in terms of the 2-week suspension. It should have been 6 to 8. You're not going to get rid of these. How does Matto go off concussed? Now we've lost him for probably a few weeks with his head knock history. Kafusi stays on the field. They stay with one of their strike weapons, which Matto is one of our strike weapons as well on the edge. And now he's going to be back in 2 weeks. For mine, it's disgusting. The NRL really needs to look at that, and I hope Manoa is okay. Now let's look ahead to round 3. And I've taken a bit of time for the video so far. I will probably stop it shortly here, but against the Sharkies, and this is a really big effort, a real test in terms of how we are as a team and what we're going to stand for this year. There was the 2 talking points leading into the season was how we go against the big teams. We've ticked that box now. You can only go off the recent performance, and the recent performance is good. The next one is how we back up, which last year we did struggle. It was either we we would get the win, but we didn't play that great, and it'd only be a small win against some of the easier teams, or we'd lose against teams that we should have won. Now, this is the same thing. We've just come off a massive win. We've got an extended break. We've got an extra 2 days or 3 days from when we last played the Storm. So it's like a 10-day turnaround, which will be massive for the boys to recover. How are we going to be able to come out and play this weekend? And we need to really be, again, forward-based. Forwards is our strength at the moment, especially with the injury to the backs. And the wingers are on fire. But we need to make sure it's forward-based. And if we can continue this forward running and going off the back of the fast play of the balls and the offloads, we'll do very well this week. And so it's be a dry track, finally. We can play a bit more attacking footy. Hopefully we've learnt from the Broncos game and we don't force things. We earn the right to play a bit of footy by the forwards going up the field, and then off the back of that, hopefully see Moses and Dill's Brown running game and linking up with Gutho and getting the wingers in the corner. The only other issue for mine would be obviously a few changes this week. So you've got Niokora starting in centre officially in the jersey. Papali's now in the second row, promoted for Manoa, which I think is a really good thing. Well done on the work. Hipgrave starts on the bench, and Ray Stone's onto the bench now as well. So for mine, I look at the bench. It's Oregon Kafusi, Keegan Hipgrave, Will Smith, and Ray Stone. It is a lighter bench. It's going to be a more mobile bench. Depending on how we want to play our footy, for mine, that shows that we do want to move the footy around a bit. Defensively, that could be a worry in terms of muscle and trying to stop the barge over tries, things like that. But if we can get the ball, we can respect the ball and play off the front foot, which we should be on for most of the game. These sorts of players, when they come on, can just play their way of up-tempo footy and really put the Sharks under pressure by tiring out their big men in the middle. That's it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the preview. I'm predicting a Parra win, obviously, against the Sharkies. 1-12, I think it will be a closer game. Sharks at times can be one of those difficult sides for us. They are a decent side. Don't take them lightly. But we should be able to come away with the 2 points. Get there to Bankwest if you can. Keep tuning on the blue and golds and keep tuning into the channel and these previews each week. Thanks, guys.